Have you ever seen where the ball balances on the rim for a couple seconds?
Yeah.
And it looked like it was about to fall in, and it fell the other way. And you could just hear in the crowd, everyone was like, "Oh!" But we still got second place trophies.
Which is still good.
So it was fun.
Good. So, did you talk to your teacher?
I just emailed her today, telling her that if it was okay with her, I would go in tomorrow for the extra help session.
Okay.
And then I told her that I've done all the other requirements. I just have to look at my assessments, which I'm pretty sure I've done everything. And then obviously the packet, which is
what we're doing today.
Yeah.
But did you ever ask her if you had to do the 4-level question?
Yes, I did. And she said you can, but you don't have to.
Okay. So I think we shouldn't worry about that, right? But did you already fill out that one-page thing?
Mhm.
And you've already got your parent signature, so you've already done all that. Perfect.
Yeah.
So the only thing we have left to do is this. Great.
Yep.
Have you started this yet at all, or no?
No.
Okay.
But before we start, I just have one quick question. So, our homework tonight was to find pictures of reflectional symmetry,
Yep.
rotational symmetry, and one with reflectional and rotational.
Good.
So this is reflectional because that reflects that,
Good.
that reflects that, those reflect those.
Perfect.
And this is rotational because if I turn it 90 degrees that way, you get the same one,
Yeah.
and again and again.
Good.
And then this is both because if I had it flat and I turned it 180 degrees,
Yep.
I would get the same picture, and then that reflects that. Or at least within the image, I couldn't crop that all out.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you just started with reflection.
Yeah, we started that today.
Okay, so that, just so I'm making, it's called butterflies, pinwheels, and wallpaper, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So you just started to talk about rotation and reflection?
And translation and stuff like
Okay,
that.
perfect.
But it all makes sense. I was just
So
checking.
far, so good?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
But I do have that for, I have stuff for that too when we get to it.
Okay.
So,
So I have
do you want
to.
to do it on paper, or would you like to do it on your iPad? I printed out paper in case you wanted one on paper.
I'll do it on my iPad. I gotta find it though.
It's probably in the program.
Oh yeah.
Not
That
in
would
your
make
unit.
sense. Retake request form, retake practice problems.
Perfect.
And I assume there is a place to submit this,
Okay. Well, you had to go and check. You have to go check in her room to make
Oh,
sure
yeah,
all
yeah.
the answers are correct.
which I do tomorrow.
Yes.
obviously.
So you do that tomorrow. So I did all of these last night just to make sure that. But I mean, I'm doing them again with you. The only
Okay.
one that would kind of threw me off was the first one because on your test it seemed like she wanted you to combine all of the perimeter. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. So
So find the area and perimeter of the figure. So for the area, I can either find the area of the outside or the inside. I think I'll do the outside because this looks like it'll have some weird shapes. So if I just do that, and then that,
So are you gonna find the area of the outside and then just subtract?
yeah.
Okay.
So that's 3 by 3, so which is 9. So the area of this is 3, right? Yeah.
Well,
3 times 3.
is 9 divided by 2,
Oh,
right?
4.5.
Yep.
And then this is 1 times 4 divided by 2 is 2.
Good.
And then one by 3, so this is 1.5. So then this is 6. Yeah. Yeah, 6, 7, 8. So that's this. The outside is 8, and this
Good.
is a 4 by 4. So 4 times 4, so 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. So
Good.
the area is 8 units
Good.
squared.
Perfect.
I mean, sorry, the decimal.
Okay. Now, how are you going to find the perimeter?
So if I know, well, first off, I know that's 1
What value would that
because it
three
says
have?
straight up and down.
Yep.
I know this is 1 because
Yep.
it says there.
Good catch.
Then I can do, so this is 4,
Yes.
and this is 4, and I know this is 4 square roots of 2.
Is this 4?
I mean 3 and 3.
If it was just the 3/10, right? Because you have
Then I know, because it must be 45, 45, 90, right?
Because your two side lengths are 3?
my family.
Yeah.
only does-
Is that what she was telling you?
because they don't have real medicine.
No, but like
My husband and my
I can
father
look
only eat the basic.
that and that
But I was running out the door
are the same because these are both the same length and they
later.
cross at the 90.
Yep, so that would be 3 square roots of 2.
Okay.
Oops.
I can also think about
That was on purpose.
23.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
You know if it's going to the 10th
Square
place.
roots of
It's only
2.
going one
Good.
past one past here. So
And then
you got it right.
if
Yeah. And then throw this one.
that's
Okay, now remember
3
this.
Yep.
Think about this right here.
and that's 1, then that has to be
Yep. Mm-hmm.
so that's double that, right?
Well, this one.
No, because 1 doubled would be 2.
Oh. So then I don't know how I would figure that out.
So you'd have to use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus
Oh.
b squared is equal to c squared, right?
So, oh yeah, okay, so 9 plus 1 is 10.
Yep.
So 10 squared,
Think about what you do with this one.
I would just have to write square root of 10.
Yep. And then the only other side length you have to find is,
Well, that can actually break down into 5, and 5 times the square root of 2, right? Because
so,
it breaks down 5 and 2.
so if you have 5 and 2, can you take out a 5 though? So like what you're saying, right, is that you can break the square root of 10 down to square roots of 5 and square roots of 2?
As soon as you see that it's going to be in the hundreds place,
Can you actually
you
find
know
the square root of
it's
5
only going
though?
to go 2 past. Look at
No, so this actually can't be
it's only
simplified,
going to pass 2
Oh, okay.
okay?
decimal places.
Which is why I was confused, because on your test, she had this
I was looking
and
at what
these
you were looking
both the same, so you could add them all together. This one doesn't come out that way,
at.
okay?
Only going to go to this place.
Yeah.
Because we have a 3-digit number,
So
you
then
kind of have to go backwards and fill it
for this one,
This way we're-
it's
in. Okay.
4,
Express the
And
value of each
1.
decimal in
Yep.
ones, tenths, and
so
For
16,
example,
so square root of
1,
17.
Right.
No, this is not part of it.
So now when you found the perimeter, what would you have to add?
Always consider it.
Me too.
1
Yeah.
plus square root of 10 plus 1 plus 1 plus square root of 17 plus 3 square roots of 2.
Good, so try and write that in as simple as form as you can.
Better? Okay. Well, we gotta use it with words. What are you gonna do?
So
Are there any ones? You don't have to say anything. Just say nothing. First one,
3
3 what? Yep, good. Write it out. But
Plus-
you have to write the words.
square root of 10 plus 3 square roots of 2 plus the square root of, oops, not square root of 12, square root of 17.
Good. So that's the only one that I was wondering why she would give that to you,
Would
because
that have to be the answer?
yeah, unless she wants you to actually put it in the calculator. Do you get to use your calculator in the test?
Tenths.
No, I don't think we would.
Okay.
Not
So
6 ones.
that was the only thing that I was confused about, because when you
This
took your
one's
actual
good.
test,
6 what?
you were able to find, right, all of these as like the square root of 5, so you just added them all up together. So I thought she would give you something similar. So know that this is the simplest form, but if she gives you ones like that, you can add them and combine them. So like if you
So
had,
we just either combine like terms or
Yeah.
find the simplest form.
Yep.
yep,
Okay.
This way. 3 what?
because when I was doing this last night, I was like, why would she give this? This is not a very
Yeah.
simplified answer.
But
So, but that's what it would be, right? Because you can't break it down anymore. Okay. Questions on number 1?
not really.
Okay. Let's look at number 2.
So this is easy. I can just do the Pythagorean theorem. So 18 squared plus 24 squared equals 30 squared.
Good. And if they both equal the same, then you know that it's a right triangle, right? So again, she gave you pretty big numbers, which didn't seem like she gave you big numbers on your test.
Yeah, I don't know if she's gonna give us the calculator or not.
So I would think that for like 18, 24, and 30 that she would let you use a calculator. What do you think?
I think so.
So I would just use a calculator when you're doing it.
Okay.
Do you want my iPad so you don't have to keep switching back and forth?
I can just put it
You
up
can
like
split
that.
screen it, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are smarter than us.
I was trying to get my dad to learn how to use it so he could sign the signature the other day and type a text box, and I ended up just typing what he wanted to say, and then he had to write it on a piece of paper, his signature. Then I took a picture of it, then I traced it, then I put it down because he just couldn't
Dad's
figure
not
it
up
out.
with the times.
So 18 squared plus 24 squared equals 900, and then the square root of 900 is 30, so equals 18 squared,
324, you said.
yeah, so 324
It's only the first time.
plus 576
Good.
More on your second side.
equals
And I'll
900.
do both sides with you because I think you'll
Square root of 900
tomorrow.
equals 30.
Good.
Oh, so you're not sure maybe you were supposed to do this?
And then 15 squared, sorry, 15 squared plus 17 squared equals 514. So yeah, I didn't think that one was going to be right.
Yeah.
Oh, do
So
I have the thing over here?
I'll write it out anyways.
You want the light?
No, but I feel like that one's facing that.
Don't mind me though. Dude, you're short. There we go. Okay. Complete the pattern. Once you complete, what are they adding every time?
Plus 289
It's not working.
Yeah, no. You go like this.
Because there's a
514.
font.
Right.
So yeah,
Oh, because look, yeah. They don't even make it a different font. If it was a different font or if it was bolded, then you could see,
so
you know.
yes,
What?
24 even.
no.
Good.
One at a time?
So now 3's pretty straightforward too, right? That's just your Pythagorean theorem as well.
Yep.
Okay.
So 625, right? For 25 squared, or
Yes, 625.
plus 60 squared is 3,600, really?
Yep.
So plus 625 equals 4,225. The square root of that is 65.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
25 plus, oops, 1,600 equals
Real, but
4,225.
thinking would help you with this. Because would you rather have $15 or 1.5?
So then the question mark. So for that one, it's the missing side equals 65.
Perfect. So this one's just a little bit different because you have your
So
C
you do
value, right?
225 minus 81.
Yes.
Yeah. flow. Alright. What's this one gonna be? What place value is changing?
144. And the square root of 144 is 12. Question mark equals 12.
Good.
Good. Perfect.
So, this was a type of problem I got caught up on.
Think about
Well,
it.
yeah, so
But
if you look back at
It's
these,
just
2 and 3.
4 plus 3. Because the
Yes.
square root of 4 squared has to be 4.
4. Perfect.
It's not
And
1 cent.
the square root
Zero
of
is
3
zero at the end.
squared has to be 3.
Yep.
So then 4 plus 3 is 7.
So do your little
So then you get the square root of 7 as a question mark.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Which is why I think it brings us back to.
What?
Which is why I think it brings it back to, you know, the material is just the time and the
Like
the
if I
pressure.
had not felt pressured or like rushed, I would have been able to look at that and be like, okay, well, what's the square root of 5? So and so.
Right.
Now what's that squared?
Yep.
That's all
5.
in books.
But again, because I was rushed. But then that would have ended up just being like the square root of 11, right?
Well, this is 5, right?
No, this one.
This one?
Because it's
Be
10.
simple. Yes, square
plus
11.
one.
Yes.
Yep. And then that would be the square root of 7.
hmm
Just like this one is.
Which, so I know you were not happy with me on Thursday, but do you understand why I want you to take the retake now?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that you know the material, and I think your parents are happy you're taking the retake too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know that you were not very happy with me by telling me that you should.
Yeah. So,
But we understand why now.
yeah. So find the distance of JK.
So you got C is equal to the square root of 7, and you showed your work for that one,
Yeah.
right? So any
Mhm.
questions on the first page?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. So this one, like JK, was very similar to this one down here, right? They just gave you had to figure out those other 2 points first. But you've already done that. You've already started to make your triangle. Now you did it that way. I would do it this way. Do you think it matters?
I mean, what would that be?
What way?
Do you think it matters? No, right? Either way, it's going to be the same, so it doesn't matter. So
So
we know what?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
But
We
think
know
about those grids that you had to do, the 100 grid.
side
Two
from-
tenths is going to be 2 little ones.
from,
2 tenths is going to be 2 long
I don't know. I can call that
right?
M.
Okay,
From J to M is 6.
good.
And from M to K is 3.
Yep.
So 36 plus 9 is 45.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go to this one.
So it would just be the square root of 45.
But that can be
Or-
broken down. So we want to simplify.
It can be broken down into 3 times the square root of 5. Right? 9 and
Yes,
5.
exactly.
What do you think?
Yep. So how are you going to show your work for that then?
Wait, so if we were told that if we only had 3 times the square root of 5, what would I do to solve that? Because that's sort of what it was there.
Yep.
You mean this one?
It's possible, yes. Now it
Yeah,
becomes
like I had the square root of 13. But what would I do? I would have to do like
Depends on your brain. So if your brain
what?
So remember, you'd have to figure out
hundreds, cubes,
What
things,
squared
Two
plus
number
what squared equals
13.
13?
Yep. So like,
Oh, so that's why it
3
was.
squared
seven of those things.
plus 2 squared, because 9 plus 4 would be
Okay.
13.
And that's what it was there.
Yep. So then you knew that you could have 9 and 4. And then you could also go over 4 and up 9, right? Or up 9 and over 4. So here with square roots of 13, you had to figure out what 2 numbers equaled that. So you did 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. Because 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. So now you know you have to go over 2, up 3. But you counted dots. Just you have to count spaces. But yep, if you're just given the square root, all you have to think of is what two numbers squared would equal 13. Okay?
Okay.
So if we finish this, we can always go back and do similar questions to your test. Okay?
Okay.
I just know you want to get this done.
Mm.
So how are you going to show work for number 4?
Which one's bigger?
3 squared plus 6 squared.
Which one's bigger?
9 plus 3 6. Square root of 45 equal to 5. I mean 3 square roots of 5.
Good.
Firefighters have a 17-foot extension ladder for to reach 15 feet up a building. How far away from the building should the foot of the ladder be placed?
It's more.
So the first thing I would do is draw a triangle. And you know it's going to be a right triangle because you're talking about the Pythagorean theorem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever way helps you.
Well, this is...
You know what I found out though when I was doing this on my iPad? Is whenever you draw a line that goes from one point to the other, it will close the shape for you.
What do you mean, like...
Like this. If you don't have...
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I figured that out last year.
I don't use my iPad enough.
And then on the new... I can't get the update for some reason. But on the new one, you can draw, like, something that
circle.
looks like a circle. Then you hold it, and it makes a perfect
It's
circle.
a perfect circle. Oh,
And-
pretty good.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have two numbers. We have 17 and 15.
Number to the nearest
So,
whole number.
where's the 15 going?
Here.
Good, because why?
Because that's how tall the wall is.
Good. And where would 17 go?
Here.
Why?
Because that's how long the ladder is at the slant. We just
Good.
need to know there.
Perfect.
So then I can do 17
Tell me
squared
what made you do
plus 225 or 15 squared equals
So
500.
think about that. Why are we
So
adding?
what number?
Oh, minus.
Yep.
Huh.
Square root of 6. I mean,
Okay, but here's the
yeah,
thing.
square root of
This is where the whole
64
numbers are,
is
right?
8.
Yep.
The number
so-
you should be looking at is this,
289
not the 5. The one right next to it.
minus
So you get
225.
$49.07, about how much money?
64
Either way.
square root of 64 equals 8.
Good. So 8 feet away, right?
Yep. A soccer field is a rectangle, 90 meters wide and 120 meters long. The coach asks players to run from one corner to the
There must be some.
corner diagonally across. What is the distance?
So the first thing you're drawing is what?
A triangle.
Okay.
Or, well, really a rectangle.
Yeah, that's what I drew first too.
10.
And then you just cut it in half, right?
I wish, like, in Photoshop, you can, like, flip the image. Because then I could just, like, flip it.
Oh, and not make it bigger.
Yeah, but now I have to, like, realign it when I do that. Because it makes it bigger and smaller as I do
It's
it.
not that bad though. I think you did a pretty good job
If
there.
you decided to take the same as this big.
Yeah, I figured out you just have to twist your arm
Yeah.
and keep your fingers
Keep your feet still.
still. Yeah.
Yes. Good.
So
Don't do 0.
it's 90 meters wide
Yep.
So that you have less numbers. 'Cause when you
and 120 meters long
Good.
or across or whatever.
So then you're trying to really find your hypotenuse, right?
Yep.
Which again, I don't know if she's going to give you this big of numbers on your test. I'd be surprised if she did.
Yeah. So 90 squared plus 120 squared. 14,400. 120 squared plus 90. Equals 14,400. Square root of 14,400 equals
Is that including the 90 squared too?
120.
So
Wait,
I
that
think you
doesn't
just did
make
120. I don't think you added the 90
I
squared.
don't think I did either.
Yeah.
120 squared plus 90 squared.
Yeah.
22,500.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
You have to express this as a fraction as a decimal. So it sounds like you've been doing some of this in class.
And the square root of 22500 equals 150.
Good.
Okay.
So
that
when
makes
you
more
got
sense.
120 as your answer, you automatically knew it didn't make sense because one of them was already 120. So that was perfect.
Yeah,
Good.
because that wouldn't have worked.
Right,
It,
exactly.
it just would be impossible.
So now 7 is very similar to this question on yours
So you
about
know
going south.
that when we do like
Mhm.
this,
Okay.
So George rides his bike 5 kilometers south, then 12 kilometers east. How far is he from his starting point? So I can just draw another triangle.
Perfect.
And then I can do. It's not very. Well, if I just rotate it like that, even though it's sort of backwards now, it makes more sense to me because this is the longer side. So
Well,
5
we can do that
kilometers,
too.
except,
And now you're going west.
I mean, it would be sort of the same thing, but whatever. It doesn't matter. 5 and 12.
So now what's the decimal?
So then up here is the starting point.
Yep. And where is he now?
Can make it a decimal.
He is
Oh, I
here.
like that. Decimal
Yep.
family number, yeah. And you just did. So now
Good.
what's the decimal?
So then 25
Exactly. So now make
plus
this a decimal friendly number.
144 equals
You can't separate it there, can you?
169. So he's 13 kilometers away.
Yep.
So what's going to be on this side?
Good.
So then what's the decimal?
So place the following values appropriately on the number line.
If you look at it, 1/4.
So-
1/4.
Square root of 4
I think I'm gonna confuse
is
this
just
right there. So now what do you
2.
do?
Good.
Decimal friendly number.
Where's 4 gonna go?
Oh, I don't know. That's a pretty difficult one. It goes on 4. Square root of 8. So
No. Oh, it's 10. Yeah, you could do that.
So I would
Well,
simplify.
then just erase zeros.
into 2 square roots of 2.
Yep. And then what has she been telling you to do? Like on your test, you had to estimate where some things were too.
But
Like
this is a
here.
tip, you could do either one.
You had to estimate where like the square root of 17 would be. So what has she been telling? Ooh, I don't know what that was gonna do. So what did she tell you for those? Like how did she
What
tell
I
you to estimate?
what I just did was, well, what I was gonna do. So that's the square root of 9. So
Yes.
3 is the square root of 9, right?
Yes.
And then that's the square root of 4.
Okay.
So then I would count to I would probably put square root of 8 around here.
Yeah.
So I would just put it on like that one.
Perfect.
It's more of a common sense problem
Yeah.
once you know the math than it is anything else.
Yeah. That's definitely true too. So you'd
Because-
prefer to not simplify it because you know that would be square roots of 9.
I mean,
that makes sense.
If I get like confused, like it's really close to another one, I'll simplify it.
Okay. Yeah.
But like
That works.
yeah, and then 0.9 is obviously right here.
Good. Square roots of 13.
So
Well, I know that.
this is the square root of 16,
0.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and that's the square root of 9. So the square root of 13 would be like here, right?
No, that's 700.
Mm-hmm.
So square roots of 13 would be closer to square roots of 16 than square roots of 9, right?
It's fine.
Oh, yeah.
So I would say it's a little bit more to
So it
the
would be like
right.
here.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be.
And then 1/3 is just so 1/3 is just here.
Yep.
Now, is that in simplest form?
Does it say something?
Oh, no.
And then square root of 25 is
Good.
Two even numbers.
So-
in simplest form.
So these aren't tricky for you. The one that was the cube root. So we'll go back and do a couple cube roots too, just to make sure that we're good
I
with that.
knew the cube roots. Like, I know to do them.
Yep.
I just messed up because,
Okay.
again, because of the pressure. Because
Simplest
3
form
times
something
3
you would have
is
to do
9
fifth
times
grade
3
question. So,
is 27.
Yep.
I was thinking 9 times 9 times
right there.
9, which is not
okay.
right.
So you did 9 plus 9 plus 9 instead.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, because I was thinking the cube root of 27 is 9. And 9 wasn't there, so I didn't put it anywhere.
Okay.
But, like, I know it's 3.
Right. Okay.
I just felt rushed. So I was like,
So if I were to tell you
You can simplify.
what would be the cube root of 64?
Okay.
mm,
I would say one word. Words.
I don't. That's not.
Think
Oh.
about it.
so you would have to
How
do,
much is a quarter worth?
Oh, you did coins.
Quarters. What do you think it's
so, like, I know how to do it, but I can't.
And you're looking at me like, yeah, that means no, quarters. The coin. Yeah, does that mean anything?
I don't know. I would have to do it, like, write it out.
Okay. We can practice it after. We can focus on this for right now.
Okay.
I think she'd probably give you one that's a little bit smaller too anyways.
Okay.
Like the cube root of 8 would be 2.
2 times
so
2
maybe
times
Yeah,
2.
perfect. Okay. So any questions on this page?
No.
No. Okay. Then your last page is simplifying the radicals.
So then the square root of 9 squared for the first one
Yep.
is 3 squared, so it's 9.
Yep.
What does that mean, simplify that? Like, do I just 2
It's
times?
just 9.
No,
Simple.
I mean, for the next one.
That's 2 times the square root of 27. So she wants you to see if you can simplify what's in the radical.
Twice.
Oh, 9 and 3, right?
Yep.
Twice. Once. No, twice. Not three.
So what's the final answer?
So 3 square root of 3,
Right.
and then that times 2.
Right.
6 times the square root of 3.
Everybody always wants to do it. They look at that equals that. But always make sure that you don't.
4 times the square root of 5, the square root of 20. The square root of 20 can actually be broken down into 2 times the square root of 5.
So now
Good.
you've done the whole thing.
So then you get 6 times the square root of
This is
5.
just to help you.
Yeah, no, that's not
Right.
something I do.
I know.
6 squares to 5. Yep.
Just remember to make decimal friendly numbers.
Well, I don't have any.
Square roots of 5.
Yeah, like not at all. Except for drawing a picture. Okay, that's secret. Oh, also I have a social studies thing. My social culture night. That's why I put down cousin
Okay, what are you doing?
Armenian.
10
Armenian.
It's a and
times the square root of 18.
stopwatch from the
What can that be simplified to?
You have one.
with the tradition.
Uh,
The whole that whole thing.
Is it
That.
Situation.
30 times the
And
square root
it's
of
a
2?
stopwatch that my
Because 18 can be broken down to 9 and 2.
Yeah.
like great-grandmother would be back longer
You
than
think you're great?
Yeah.
You're great?
I think because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's
And then this is just 12 minus 9.
Yep.
But he's Armenian.
yeah, here. So I'm oh, it's only been 2 years so I'm not gonna do I might do this one.
Which just equals 3.
Good.
So you bring
So-
those
I don't
in.
think
I understand
Good comment.
all that.
I think the ones that threw you off were the X's.
The things that he has.
With the what?
when she put in X's. Which page was that? Was that the fourth one? When she put in like X to the fourth. But again,
Well,
on
we
this,
went over that.
yep. But it seemed like this was pretty straightforward, and you knew how to do them all, right?
I want to do more of them that have.
That's
the
what I was
X
thinking.
And like X to the fourth.
Yeah. So I just want to look at the first page first, okay? So that didn't make it bigger. So I think you're fine with finding the missing side, because you did those three and those were exactly like those, and I think you're fine there, okay? I think you're also fine with 14. Oh no, number 4, because you were able to draw your triangle and figure that out.
Yeah.
I want to do one like 5.
You'll find something in your dad.
Okay.
Sound good? So let's make a dot. Do you want it on paper or do you want to do it on your iPad?
I think
But you will get
I'm gonna see
we have like a 20.
if I just make a new note
Yeah, you better not.
and then change the
You'll get so
paper.
far.
Could you make dots?
Give your mother a good report.
I mean, I can do grids,
That can change
and it's
the-
essentially the same because each grid has a dot.
Yeah, so you could make dots easier than I could.
So I'll just do it like that.
Let's do the square roots of 17. So it's Captain Hook stole a treasure map
Should
from
I
Peter Pan.
like box off a part to start on a grid? Because
Yeah.
this is like a whole.
Yeah, let's do that.
So what should I do? Just
Because now that I see India,
Like-
I'm not going to change my schedule.
like
Yeah, go down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10,
That should be good.
10.
Yeah. And then just go over the other way.
I'm just gonna-
Do you want me to email your teacher and tell her that we did the whole packet together, or does it really matter? Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. So instead of square roots of 13, I want you to say Captain Hook stole a treasure map from Peter Pan. However, unlike most treasure maps, X marks the spot is not actually where the treasure is buried. There was a clue on the map that said the treasure is buried square roots of 17 units away from X. Okay? And then I want you just to put X like right there.
Okay, so this is. I'll just put like a starting point.
Yep, that will be X. And I want you to find 3 spots where the treasure could be buried.
So something squared plus something squared equals 17.
Yes.
So couldn't I do 4 squared plus 1 squared?
Yep. So if you have 4 squared plus 1 squared, right? That's going to equal
16 plus
17. So it's going to be 16 plus 1,
So
which
then I
equals
can do
17. So now where are you going to
1,
draw your
2,
spot?
3, 4, 1
So remember, are you counting dots or are you counting spaces?
spaces. So
Perfect.
1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Yeah.
Yep.
And then 1.
Perfect.
Then I can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1.
Good.
Wow.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1.
Perfect. Okay. So just be careful with those and make sure that you count spaces, not dots.
Yep. I'm gonna make these a different color.
You're so organized. I love it. Would you like to try another one of those or you think you're good?
I think I'm good with that.
Okay. Otherwise, I think you're pretty good with that page. Do we agree?
Mhm.
Okay. That was page 1, right? Yes, it was.
Mhm.
Page 2. I don't know why it doesn't make it bigger when you do that.
I said 1/2 instead of 1/3 there.
Let's not get into that, please.
Yeah. So you said that was it. You didn't think you needed to go over that. Would
Yeah.
you like to do another one of these?
No, because I understand that
Okay.
too. I just have to. So like for that one, I could combine the like terms to get 6 times the square root of 5.
Good.
Otherwise, I
So-
just simplify it the best I can.
Right. So you just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you did square root of 5 times 6, and you just did 30 underneath it. So you're comfortable with that one.
Mhm.
7 you're comfortable with. What about 8?
Well, I know now. One.
What do you have to do?
Well, for that one's easy because the square root of 4 is just 2.
Yep. So
1,
you
2.
Perfect.
But then the square root of 2.
Yep.
Like, well, now I know it's 1/2 because 0.5 times 0.5. Right?
So remember, if you
She
have
said that it was this.
right, it's that one. So it would be a diagonal because if you drew one space
1 squared
plus
plus 1 squared.
is
Yeah.
equal to the square root of 2. Good. So what if I said draw a line segment with the square root of 5?
It would have to be. Well, it would have to be.
Guess what?
It would have to be that.
Why?
Because 2 squared is 4 plus 1 squared is 5.
Good. So you know that you'd have to go up 2 over 1, so you'd have to connect those two together.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. We just got an email saying we're getting out early. Ooh, we're getting out early.
Let's go.
Half day tomorrow.
Let's see. That's awesome. I was supposed to do a talent show tomorrow with all of the kids too.
Oh,
No
no.
lunch.
So
Or,
I
no,
postponed
probably
it
lunch.
already. So when do we get out? We get out at
Then I have to
11:35.
say, all Shrewsbury public schools will close 3 hours early tomorrow.
So
Really?
it's basically a half day.
Yeah.
We get out at 11:35.
Yeah,
So you know what would be golden is if we have a half day tomorrow and then a 2-hour thing right on the west.
because then it's no snow days at the end.
Perfect. I know, and we get plenty of time off.
That's right. That's a nice, like, go home at noon and you just,
Excited.
I hope my teachers don't give me too much homework.
That's awesome. I was supposed to go grocery shopping today. I'll go tomorrow.
And then
Oh, that's so good.
Beale School full day. Okay, so they get out at 12:30, obviously, and then what is Little Colonials?
That's a preschool, I think.
So they just don't have school tomorrow.
No, they get out at 10:30 a.m.
But the morning classes, it says.
Yeah, so afternoon classes don't have them.
Okay,
Wow.
and then well, I'm
That's
happy now,
My Shrewsbury school calling me telling me we got an early release day.
and it's yeah, it's because then if we could either get another one tomorrow, not tomorrow, Wednesday, or just 2-hour delay.
I'm thinking 2-hour delay would be
Yeah,
would be better.
and if we get that, that would be great too.
Yeah. Because then you don't have to go any extra days. It'd be
Yeah.
golden. All right. What if I gave you the square root of 16?
It would just be 4.
Perfect. Okay. And then you're good with that. So I think good on this page, right?
Mhm.
Oh, what happened?
I would mistake that for a 9.
No.
Because
one
this
is
is
this?
rounded.
That's not yours. That's not yours. This is yours. So one second page, we're good. Third
Yeah,
page. Okay. How do you feel with these? Do you want me to
Good.
give you a cube root or no?
No, I understand.
You're good. Okay. What about these? Should we do some practice with these?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do these on paper or you want to do them on your
Paper.
iPad? Paper. Okay. So let's give you the square root of 40 x to the 4th. Okay.
Mhm.
2 would be
That feels so comfortable.
3 square roots of not that one.
I just bought myself a soft sweatshirt. It's not this kind, but it's still soft. It's like soft.
32 plus 5 square roots of so that would be 72. 3 would be 2 square roots of 3x plus 5 square roots of 12x.
Because I went to preschool at high school.
Or,
And I'm also
let's not do
a parent.
12X.
I have a daughter who's a senior at high school. So I think I got it because I got the text because my daughter, and I have an email because I'm That's
I'm gonna make this very similar.
yes.
And then 4 would be 2 square roots of 3 over square root of 5. Don't take my pen this time.
Okay, so
Ooh,
what? Oh,
that does not help.
please.
This is my favorite pen too.
You can probably crazy glue it,
I
but then
can't
it'll.
get this off though.
You have to. I think you either like. It's probably stuck unless you pull it from like you just take it off. See the ink and then.
And it won't even help if you twist it.
Yeah, because it doesn't really. I did that to a mechanical pencil the other
It's
day.
not good.
Just pull it from that gray part that's like in the cap. It's like, that's weird. There's like no way to get a grip on it
Great.
No.
because it's like slippery there. And if you pull on that, it's going to break the ink. And then it would go everywhere.
That's not very good. Oh well. What should we do?
So for 40,
Some of these, you can pick
X
which ones you want to do. You're
to
probably
the power
gonna do all of
4.
them, so you don't
Yep.
have to start here.
It goes 4 and 10,
Yes, and then you're going to come back, okay?
2
I want you to do some of these before you leave.
times the square root of 10,
Good.
Chop, chop.
but then x to the power 4, and the square root of that is x squared
Good.
times x squared.
Mhm.
So this just equals x squared, right?
Yep.
So 20 x squared,
Why would it be 20x squared?
or 2x squared
Yep.
times the square root of 10.
Perfect. Yep.
What
Good.
would be one where it's like 2x times the square root of 10x? Would that be if that was to the power of 5?
Yep, it could be x to the power of 5. It could even be x to the power of 3, right? Because x to the power of 3 would be x, not 8. That would be x squared times x.
Right, so this would be x squared and that would be x?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep. So if
And
it's
then-
odd, if your exponent's an odd one, you'll have an x left over in here.
Oh, so you know, this is
But
going
if
to
it's
be...
even, for the most
it'll
part,
only
you'll
be
always be there.
So if it's odd, there will be an
You
x,
didn't know.
Yep, it should
an
be.
x there, but if it's an even, it
Samsung
usually
tab.
won't be there.
It usually won't be, unless you
Okay.
get
If
like
you didn't know what
x to the
answer-
6th,
What number would you say that was?
because then you'd have,
Yeah.
you know, but
hmm
yes.
40? Not 46?
And then,
Okay, but if you didn't know you wrote it, could you possibly think it was 46? Because of the way you made your zero?
3 times,
Possibly. Okay.
it could be
So I just want to be check.
4
The
times
answer
the
is
square root of
I just
2,
wanted to
12
correct
times the
the right
square root
number.
of 2.
What's 9 times 9?
Because it gets broken up into 16 and 2, right?
You could do it that way, sure.
Except for that one.
And then you get 4 square root
Pick a couple of them.
2.
It's 517.
12 square root of 2.
Yep.
Plus, would it be
Not always.
30 square root
Sometimes it's
square
something
times the square root of 2? Because,
Totally
Yes.
can see.
yeah.
You know that.
I thought you were going to ask me if it was 30 times 2 that gave you 72, and I was like, no.
It's like not even close.
She's already saying, hey.
So it's 36 and 2, right?
Yep.
And then
Transfer.
6 square root of 2. But then that.
Yeah. I have those.
42 square root times the square root of 2.
Perfect.
Oh, really? So like mine are boring? Is that what you're saying? Yours are fancier?
And and then
What did I give you? 2 squared to 4x times what?
times 5 square roots of 6x.
Okay.
So it would just be 2 square roots of 2x. Because the square root of 4x is 2x.
So you could do that, sure.
Right.
But before you do that, I would just multiply what's underneath the radical, and just multiply what's on the outside of the radical, and then
What do you mean?
simplify after. So like, I would do.
So,
This is addition.
Oh, this is meant to be multiplication.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
that's why. That's my mistake.
Okay, so then 4 times 6
multiply,
Yep.
subtract, bring
and 2
down.
times 5, so 10.
What I did was
And people always answer.
10.
Popular kid right now.
Oh, yeah.
So then 10
What is the Z do?
times the square root, so 24x
All right. Don't worry
squared.
about the
Perfect.
overs. How many times is 5 going to 7?
Is that it?
How many times?
Can you simplify 24x squared?
how many five? How many five?
Yeah.
Yep. So let's
How
simplify
many
that.
times is 5 going to 7? Come on. Okay. So it's, no, this one is okay.
It can be, oh,
5 is
2
okay,
times
so
the
now
square root
that
of
was a
8.
division. Now you gotta multiply. 1
Or,
times 5 is
so it gets into 4
Yep.
and 8.
5.
4 times 8 is
Subtract.
Oh,
No, don't
32,
do that.
right?
Did you teach your
4
teacher?
times what?
Don't do it. I want you to break that
We
by
don't do multiplication.
the.
oh, 6.
Yep. 4 times 6.
So then we go like this. 7 take away 5
And
is
6.
2. And you bring down the next number, which happens to be a 2.
And then that gets 2 square root of 6.
You'll be fine. I'm
So
starting
then
for you, so how many times is 5 going to 22?
10 times the square root of 6. But then x squared, square root of that is just x.
Yep.
Okay, now multiply. What is 4
So then
times 5?
10x
You drew an arrow from 10 to 2, which means what?
multiplication.
Yep.
20.
So 10 times 2 is
And then you
20.
20.
subtract. I'm way ahead of you. Bring down the 5. How many times is 5?
So then 20x.
20x square root of 6.
Okay.
So just remember to multiply those.
Yep.
Okay. And then the last one I gave you was what?
You're getting distracted.
2
So
radical 3.
times square root of 5
Good.
times square root of 5
Come on.
equals 2 times the square root of 15
Quit on me now.
How many
Hurry.
times is 4
over
Yeah. Okay. 4 times 2
the
is.
square root of 25, which is just 5.
Okay.
Yep.
Subtract.
Right.
Bring down the 3. Just the 3.
So
How many
then,
times does?
what do I do for that? Is that it?
That's your answer.
Okay.
Because you can't simplify this anymore. Okay? Because you have 2 square roots
Right.
of 15. So in this case, let's just go over that one real quick.
That could be simplified. And then,
Right. Because if you had
And then
2
it would end up
square
being 6 square roots of
4 times 3 is?
2, right?
Yep. Over
And then
3.
that would just be
You just gotta
2 square roots of 2.
Yes. Good.
subtract.
So
Okay.
that's your final answer because you can't simplify anything else. Okay?
Yep.
So how do you feel with A, B, C, and D?
Pretty good.
Do you want to try another one of any of those?
Bring down 7. You're doing good. You go ahead.
I think it wouldn't hurt to do another one where it's like that, but
you
with
want
maybe an odd
Okay.
one, just so I
Okay.
can do both.
So
Okay. How many times is 4 going
so let's do 42 x to the 5th. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Put a 4 right here.
Okay, I can just
Okay,
write it down.
sounds good.
Here. Because you're right.
So
What is 4 times
42.
That's the multiple. Okay. And then
What?
subtract.
Oh.
No, you don't.
Making up our
You're
own
gonna do
problems.
R1.
So
Okay, so you remember kind of.
wait.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that a
that's
cool
weird.
one?
520.
Yeah, that one's cool because it doesn't look.
It doesn't and it doesn't have this thing which everybody breaks.
Yeah,
So
I
I bought
know.
those at Staples. I like those pencils.
I always have those. Like if I find them on the ground, it has that broken part.
Yeah. Can we change 42 to 44, please? 'Cause you
Yeah.
can't break that down to anything.
44
X to the 5th.
x to the 5th. So 44 can be broken down into 4 and 11.
Good.
Yeah, you put me on the trail of
And then it becomes 2 square roots of 11.
Yep.
And then x.
And it's about
2 square root of x to the 5th.
7.
So
Okay, now
x times x times x times x times x.
Good.
So x squared
Okay, wait. So now what's left? What's this
times
thing
x squared times x.
Yep. So write
So
that out.
x squared. So well, just that
Yes.
times x, and so it's just x squared.
Perfect.
So 2x squared times the square root of 11 x.
Perfect.
Okay.
Feel better with that?
Mhm.
Okay. How do you feel with B and C? Good.
Yeah.
And D, you were fine with. You just so you think you're good with this. No more practice of those, or would you like another practice of one of those?
I think I'm good.
Okay. What about number 11?
Pick one more.
So for
You've done really well so far.
this,
Yep.
I knew
Oh, in the last
Yep. You knew that. You
'Cause it
got
was just-
6
8 miles,
Try
right.
25.
north.
no,
Yep.
8
8
miles and
Challenging yourself.
6 miles,
Good.
and then I could figure that out.
And here too.
And then for that one, I would do between Susie and Wendy,
Yep.
somewhere over here, is square root of 117.
Mhm.
And so
6 times.
2 numbers
No. 7.
squared,
Have to equal.
square root of 117. But we already
But-
have one of the numbers,
Right. And what's the number you have?
36 or 6.
Good. So you had 6 squared.
So then I just could have done 117 minus 36, which would have been 81, which would have been 9. So
Yep.
then that would have been 9.
All right.
So then you would have
now
gotten 9 down.
3 times 7 is?
And then the easiest, that one's easy. It's just 9 plus,
Yep. 'Cause
or
what's the
not
shortest
plus
between?
10, plus 8.
Yes, because it was just what's the shortest distance between Bobby and
Wendy,
Wendy? So Bobby was here, Wendy was down here, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So you just had to add those together.
which would have been 17.
Yes.
Okay.
Good with that one?
Mhm.
One is in the way of the 2.
And then keep doing that.
The 1 is in the way.
So good on that one. Good on that one. Good on that one.
So now you just
Last
have
page.
9.
That's the 4 level.
No, number 12 is not.
Oh yeah,
So number 12, I think we just didn't have time to get to.
that just would have
Because
been
the 7 went to 19.
16, right?
Yep.
That would have been 16.
Why did you know that those would have just been
Because that's 45 degrees, which means that is, because that's 90 degrees.
perfect?
And then, if we already know that's 16,
Yep.
and that means that's 32, and that's 16 square roots of 2. Right?
30, 60, 90?
Yeah. Because we know that's 30, we know that's 90, we know that's 60.
So remember, when we have 30, 60, 90,
And I think I was just ending because it's not for me.
we have x, 2x, and then we have x square roots of 3 for 30, 60, 90.
Oh, 16 square roots of 3.
Yeah. So just be careful with that, right?
Mhm.
So when we look at a
That I am actually using. So I do it.
30, 60,
Put down in the
90, I think your brother wants to leave, huh?
Yeah.
The thing that you have to remember is that x cubed roots of 3 is actually going to be on one of the bases, and your hypotenuse is 2x. So here, when you're looking at this is actually going to be 32. And this is 16 squared.
Oh, right. It's always the
okay?
hypotenuse that's double that.
Yes. So
Okay.
you're used to just this being the square root, so you automatically think this is the square root. So the one thing that I would do before you take your retake is just double check your 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay?
Okay, so the
So you'll
hypotenuse
have
is double.
Right.
The-
Hypotenuse is always
So
double.
that's 16, and that's 32, and that's 16 square roots of 3.
Yes. Because see if 60 across from it, you'd have
Yeah.
x squared root of 3. Over 30, you're going to have x.
Yep.
And then across from the 90, you're going to have 2x.
Okay.
Okay? So I know, just remember this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to write it anywhere on your thing, or do you think you're good?
It's inside out.
I think I'm good.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
looking back at this test now, right?
I was just doing that good most of the time.
How do you feel with the first page? These I think you're good with.
2, 3.
I think you're good with this, and I think you're also fine with this now too. Do you agree?
Yes.
I think you're good with this one,
Yep.
good with this one, and good with this one.
That's right.
Yes.
Right? Because if it was a square root of 5, what do you have to figure out?
What plus what
Know it.
squared
You said
is
guess yourself.
5.
Perfect. I think you're good with these. Just remember that the cube root means what?
But you don't even know who smart you are. That's what it is.
Something multiplied by itself 3 times
Is equal
to
to.
equal that
Perfect.
the number under the radical.
See?
This one I think you're good with now too.
Subtract.
Because
Bring on 62.
same idea, right? Square roots of 117.
You go into 56.
And then here you're good too.
Good to guess
But I
really
think
quick.
seeing some things that we didn't necessarily know right away kind of freaked us out a little bit. Do we agree?
Yep.
So how do you feel going into your retake on Thursday?
32.
If he decides to let me take one, which he probably will, pretty good.
I would agree. Okay. So one thing that we always have to learn is just test taking strategies, right? Even I get nervous when I have to take tests now, and I'm 27, right? And I give tests, and I tell you guys to not worry about it, and I'm like, oh my god. But I think you'll do great. Okay. How do you feel?
Good.
Good. You want to keep this?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go.
You get your brother?
Thank you. Not taking my pencil.
Oh.
Hey, Sophia. How are you?
Hi, Sophia. How are you? No.
Chocolate.
Ooh, look at
Wait, is this white chocolate?
that. No.
Can I have one that's not white?
Well, here's the thing. Which one you want? Give the other one to Ben.
Are they all?
I don't know. They all taste the same.
What if cool on top?
I'm fine, Sam.
You think I would forget? Hi, how are you? So right here.
I like how honest you are.
Sam, is that your
He
brother?
knows
Be right
himself.
back, Sophia.
Thank you. How are you, Sophia?
I'm good.
Good, good. How's 6th grade going?
It's okay.
Yeah, you've been sick, huh?
Yeah.
Are you feeling better now? Hi.
This Sam Summer?
Yeah, you want to run that out to me? Cool.
I found something on the ground.
What'd you find? That's a lucky thing, you know.
Yes.
So, do you not have the study guide that he had?
The study guide?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have it.
You have it in here? Oh, perfect. And then do you have this because you have pages to work on? Or just for fun you brought it?
For
Good.
the finish it is there.
Oh, is he your thing? Oh, that's funny. And I said to him, do you have any idea who has you? And he said no.
I know who has me.
You do?
Yeah, I saw him.
Oh,
Then I literally saw paper in his hand.
jeez.
Because then I'm like, now I know.
Okay, so
Yes,
I'm
I
going to tell you a little secret. I've seen the test. The test is so similar to this.
Okay.
If you find this not so challenging, you'll be great.
Okay.
Okay? This is cute. All right, my friend India. My friend India.
Wait, where's the, where is the thing?
How you doing?
Good.
Thank you. So you're feeling better from last week?
We're not allowed to do
A little bit.
So that's it.
So take out your retake that you took,
Yeah.
which
No, I
Miss Hendricks said you did much better than your original test. She said you seemed a little bit disappointed on getting a 2.5 though.
It was mean.
But
I
it's
did
better.
it the day I got after I got
We have to be here
so
on
I was so kind of like,
Still kind of sick. But that's much better than your original one, right?
yeah.
Try it.
Perfect.
Oh, wait.
She even wrote you a note.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, those are a bunch of little magnets, aren't they?
So, because she said you're doing really well with decimal ops,
Yeah.
right? Like adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing decimals. Okay. So I'm gonna have you do these on a separate sheet of paper. Did you see that we have an early dismissal tomorrow?
What you do?
We're getting out early tomorrow.
What time?
11:35.
I didn't
I
see
know,
that.
but he will be more soon.
Maybe he hasn't called you guys yet, but
I don't know.
I get it first because I'm a teacher.
Oh.
So we have a half day tomorrow. Alright, so I want you to read number 5 for me and just tell me what operation you think you were going to do and why.
So
Number 5.
Yep.
Ben is Sam's brother, and then
That's Cole. That's Big Brother.
I think
So there's Sam, and then he has Ben,
that's who.
and that's
Wait,
Cole,
no.
is the one you just saw.
multiplication.
My
Right. So a writer has a 7-page paper to write. This really doesn't matter, right?
She works at a
She finished
barber
6
shop.
3/4 pages, then she proofread 2/3 of
she
the
said-
pages.
One
So how many pages did the writer proofread? So what did you just do here?
I subtracted.
Okay, so why did we subtract?
brothers.
Well, I probably thought it was subtraction. So
Well, probably, yeah. But then, that's all you did, right?
That was him who went into the
She finished, then she proofread 2/3. How many pages did the... Right, so you have to do 6 3/4 times 2/3, okay? What about number 6?
what?
Somebody is
addition.
canceling
Find the
something.
product.
Oh,
So when you see the product, it's
What?
multiplication.
It's just a baby
So we
shower
want
for
4
somebody.
1/2
Did you know
times 1 7/9,
Really?
right?
Why?
Because of the
Good.
storm coming.
Number 7.
Really? What time is everyone getting out? 12?
I think you're getting out 12. I think.
She didn't know either.
Really?
Nope.
Then I always do that. And then I'm like, oh, shouldn't I know this time?
Oh, I might tell Mrs.
Well, they have to.
Because sometimes if I tutor at home,
Yeah.
the message will come through and be like, you know, Shrewsbury Schools.
Wait, does all the teachers at Shrewsbury know?
Yeah, so the parents are just getting, teachers get notified first. Okay, so
I'll tell
we're
Mrs.
12,
She's
15.
a...
No, she knows.
Division?
Yes, why is it division?
12, 15.
Well, because
Oh my
it's
god.
cuts it into pieces, so,
Wait, so if
you'd
we're
have to
getting...
divide
Aw.
to find out how much.
So if
Good.
we're getting picked up
Then for
early,
8, the key
We
word
might
there is
not have
quotient.
school
What
on
does quotient mean?
Division.
Division. How come we know all of these now?
I don't know. It's like on the test, I just like go.
Blank.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what about 9?
9
Well, I think it's
is
going to start in the afternoon. That's why they want everybody to go. Maybe the forecast changed recently or something.
it's starting at 9.
Addition?
It's gonna get...
Wait, no.
It's gonna...
No.
The winds are gonna pick up.
You
multiplication.
have the right operation.
Well, let's look at this.
Wow, okay.
Okay,
let's
so a
actually
trip
start.
to a nearby island takes 2 1/4 hours by boat and
As
3/8 hour by plane. How many times as fast as the boat and the
0.3
plane?
what?
So you have this right, but what you forgot was to turn your mixed number into a improper fraction. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to do all of these problems again. Okay.
That's right.
When you do that, I'm just gonna run to the bathroom. Okay. When I have coffee, it makes me
Okay.
go to the bathroom like every
Decimals.
30 minutes. It's terrible. All right, I'll be right
3
back.
has a value of 3 what? What place are you?
It's the...
Right, or just hundreds. You're gonna hundreds. 3.
I feel like it's a quarter.
Mhm.
Did you have a good day today?
Did you?
Because my mom, she has viruses or something. So it's like she's allergic to cheese, and when she was pregnant, she wasn't. So she had a lot of cheese. So then she just gave birth, and now it's 10 times worse. So we went to Target.
Yeah.
So then we were in line because she was making appointments to get it treated. So we were in line to get a slushy because we were going wanted to like just look around in Target, but we didn't even down, so we were just gonna get a slushie. So we were waiting in line, and this little girl, she was right in front of us, and she was staring at her. And she said 3 times to her mom, "Why is that girl's face red?"
Oh, your mom?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
multiple times, and she was
Psoriasis, that's what
pointing.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
Oh,
was
no. What's
pointing. So then we just left, and she was so upset. I was about to kick that little girl. And the mom, she didn't even look. She just was
Oh,
like
really?
focusing on, she was so embarrassed.
Oh,
So,
too bad.
but it is getting better.
Good. Psoriasis is what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what it's caused from. I'm thinking it's caused from cheese.
Could be.
Sure. Yep. And I was right with her.
Yes. So, kids can be funny.
But she was only 4.
Yeah, so she doesn't know anything, but the mother should have said.
Or she
So
should.
did
I
mom
know,
come
I
in, or did she
said.
just drop you off?
She just dropped
I texted her and said if she could just drop you off.
because Adam was in the
That's what I figured. Because she can always do it. And then I can walk you out too, so she doesn't have to get out of the car. Maybe I'll text her.
Or you
and
can
tell
just
her.
let me.
Yeah. She might have one. No. She's another tutor. What do you think we look like?
Wait, you have a twin?
No.
Oh.
Another tutor. Okay. The decimal 0.44 has a value equal to 4 blank and 4 blank. So what is this one? 4.
4 tens, 4
There you
hundreds.
go, right there.
Okay, these so far.
Yeah.
So we got 27 over 4 times 2 over 3. 14, 54 over 12. 4 times 8 is 6. Good. Then are you done with this one too?
Yeah.
Okay. So 8, 9 over 2 times 9. Good, so 9, is this 9
Yeah.
times 16? You have over here, which is 54, 144. Over 2 times 9 is 18. You did 18 times 6 is 108. And you did 18 times 8. And you got that was 64, 14. Perfect. Okay? I think with you it's sometimes just like, oh my god, it's that test. And then you freak out.
Oh, you're so good. Keep going.
No need to freak out. But I understand.
Yes. You said it worked. It works.
So the teacher says, who has their homework? They're like, who has, they'll take that in. Who has their homework done?
Do you have homework tonight or no?
Yeah, actually, we have a
Don't be
quiz
super
in Schoology
Oh, okay.
that's for homework that I haven't done.
Okay, so after we fix this, we can go into school and do the quiz together, okay? Can you do it with somebody? Yeah, you
I
can.
don't know, but it's probably.
That should be fine.
Those are light switches. One of your turns.
When I was
Alright.
8, I used to always play the light switches.
Mhm. Okay,
Now I can just find my homework like, okay.
that's right. If you were in the dark, you could find it. Alright, so.
But then I would be like,
Now,
oh, here it is. Paper cut.
can I ask you a question? Did the teacher tell you to just do this part tonight and the other part you're gonna do tomorrow night? Or do you have to do both tonight? Sam didn't. We did both.
I would just
That's
do
your
that.
answer.
That's what I said. I told
that's
him
just
that
the
we did
answer?
Yep,
both.
you can't
Okay.
simplify it at all.
My math homework would just be out of the
Right.
way.
And I
I
told
think
him
we
that,
have to do it.
well, we're going to. And I told him I would email Mrs. Zimmernardi and I would tell her that I did both sides with you guys because you were here with me.
Did she ask?
She told me to.
Is
review for
the
test.
storm
The
gonna
test
be
is
like
supposed to be-
overnight?
Wait, did she reply
Oh,
back?
I didn't realize that it
No,
was
I haven't
starting that
emailed
early
yet 'cause I
though.
want to see.
Starting at,
what
like,
we're
noon.
gonna
Wait,
do.
can you,
So they're hoping that that's around noon and like 1 o'clock won't be bad, but if we waited till we got out at 3 o'clock, then the elementary schools won't get out till like 4, and that's when it's supposed to be the worst. So
It's not texting, it's
I'm not complaining. I hope we have a 2-hour delay on Wednesday too.
No, me too, but the thing is, I do ski club on Wednesday, so now I don't know if it's gonna be canceled or
So here we
like.
go. First divided decimals are 1 to
Oh, that's
so let me give you an
true.
example.
Oh, I know.
Because it might be, because I know they canceled it like 2 weeks ago because it was like
And if there's nothing you
snowing
can do,
or
like,
something
you
was
don't
up with the
have to write
buses.
0
So,
But tomorrow's Tuesday.
oh, on Wednesday, if
What?
if it's still bad or Wednesday.
It should be better by Wednesday. You should be okay, but I understand what you mean.
No,
Yeah.
what's your feet?
Okay. So instead we went to McDonald's instead of,
Oh, did you?
yeah, Starbucks. Can't wait. Is it right here? Do they have a buffer?
Yes.
Oh, goodness, shut up on the mic.
So this one's good. And you did 14 over 13 divided by. And you found a common denominator, so 26, 28, 28 over 5, 5. Perfect. Good, so it's 6 times as fast, right? So here you had 2 and 2/8, which is exactly what you were supposed to have, divided by 3/8. And then I don't know how you came
change
here
it to
to
a proper fraction.
right. You didn't turn this into an improper fraction. And I don't know how you got 1 as your numerator. 2 divided by 3.
Me either. I was probably just confused and just.
Yeah. So this is much better. Okay.
Did you?
So
Was it-
10. We did good on A.
Not this one.
B. We need to. So you have the right operation though. You should be doing. I'm gonna just flip this over. So for 10B,
Said you see only-
you should be doing 3 1/3 plus 1 1/9. And you found a common denominator, and then all of a sudden you switched to subtraction.
Oh my god.
Okay, for C, how am I gonna figure out C?
Oh,
you weren't
well, I
struggling
think
to
I know
do
what it is. Because it starts in here,
Yeah.
I probably thought that. Oh, it's C. What? Oh.
If I'm trying to find N, I know that these two numbers multiplied together would give me N.
Yeah.
So I don't want to multiply, I want
Why do
to
zero? Just do
Divide.
three.
divide. So I actually want to do 5/12 divided by 3/4, okay? Does that make sense why?
Yeah. Because if it's, you would have to divide these two to get that answer.
Yes.
Because, well, that's the only way.
Okay. And then for 11, when I see the word sum, what does that mean?
Addition.
Addition. So we want 1/3 plus 3 4/5. And what does difference mean?
Subtraction.
Subtraction. So for 12, we would want 3 1/5
That's why my gun goes
minus
by
1
so quickly.
1/3. Okay?
The flavor will be gone for this one.
And then the back. Hey, you got this part right. Which is pretty good.
Yeah.
But the picture is kind of.
Okay, would we still have to change it into an improper fraction for addition?
You don't have to. You can if you want to, but you don't have to.
No, it's done.
Can walk her out to the car so we don't have to take the baby out. Okay. Yep, you're so good.
What would that be as an as a mixed
yeah.
number?
What's happening? What's the pattern?
What is this?
Nothing. You know what? Sam and I went through and we did this for all of them. Because that's just the number problem. That it is.
Oh,
But it interferes with,
yeah. I'm
you
like
know.
12,
You know.
0.2.
Wait a second. Ignore what I said. You have 5 over 9.
What the heck is that?
Oh.
Ignore that. Sorry.
So now,
I was looking at it this way and it looked like 9 over 5.
Oh.
what will be the next one?
2 tenths, 5 tenths, 8 tenths, and
Then it's like 11 tenths.
yeah.
What's changing in each one? And how? getting bigger or smaller? Like,
Bigger.
how much is being added to